Kylie Ryan here from My Mind Coach, and today I have a fantastic guest, an incredible human being and just a genuine nice guy, Dr. Cam McDonald. And I was blessed to meet Cam at when we were speaking at Philex on the same stage, actually, one after the other, the year before last. And so Dr. Cam has a whole string of qualifications to his name. He's an accredited practicing dietitian, accredited exercise physiologist, a PhD in breast cancer recovery. That's pretty important these days. And he now practices in what's really best for people using advanced genetic information that is super user-friendly. He trains health professionals on how to use this for better results with clients. So, Dr. Cam, it is awesome to talk to you. Thank you for talking to me today. Hey.
It's awesome to be back again. We did a really cool session on thyroid stuff last year, and it's really awesome to be back on the same webinar.
We did. It's awesome. And I'll put the link below for people who wanna see that interview that we did last year for thyroid stuff as well. But you're doing some super exciting, next evolution stuff. It's like beyond crazy. So tell me all about it. So let me think. So what do my beautiful ladies and, people, what do they need to know about what you're doing right now?
Sure. Okay, cool. I definitely want to start big picture as what we're trying to achieve, because
what's the vision?
There's lots of different things out there. What we're doing with this particular program and project is that the goal is to end chronic disease and pain by the year 2050, which is a huge goal. Yeah, it's awesome.
Booyah! Let's do it.
Really exciting to be part of it. And probably the part that I'm really excited about as well is not about just avoiding disease and pain, but actually being at your best. And for me, obviously we've got this big goal of wanting to help people find the answer to their chronic disease so that we can really make some great change.
Yes.
The underlying sort of purpose that I've really come to terms with over the last couple of years is that it's about people starting to understand themselves, not just from what I need for food, what I need for exercise, but starting to understand how their mind works specifically, and even how their whole physiology works, so that it creates self-acceptance. And if we accept ourselves, then we start accepting other people around us. And as a result, as a human race, if everyone does that, then we start becoming pretty happy. So there's a couple of really big goals on the table, and I'm super excited to get into it and to be here talking to you about it for sure. So that's a start. But there is so much more to talk about.
How do we cram it into 15, 20 minutes so that people have time to get the essence of what you're about and how it can help them? And then we can tell them how they can learn more, because you're doing some great events coming up really soon, some really great free events all around Australia as well, and the world. I saw very exciting, very exciting stuff.
Really cool. There's so just to, I guess people are going to want to know a little bit about the platform itself. So how can we make statements like ending chronic disease and all that sort of thing?
How is that possible? And you said advanced genetic information that's now super user friendly. So what is it in my smartphone?
It will be. Over the last decade or so, there's been about 12 experts and 20 to 30 other different scientists working on a platform that looks to fuse the best of what we have in Western medicine and understanding, specific genes and the kind of function they have on physiology, and then drawing the link between that and, obviously the ancient medicine, which has been somewhat discarded, but now they're starting to do a lot more research on which parts of it and which components of it are accurate and which hold up in a Western frame.
Yes.
And what they've done is they've looked to combine both. So we start looking at genes, we start looking at also how that body would have been spoken about in an ancient medicine way. And when you start looking at those relationships, you actually start seeing some really amazing trends between what they describe 2,500, 4,000 years ago, that are still really relevant now. And through the Western amazingness of quantification, we can now start measuring these genes and start confirming what they saw. So this platform is incredible in that it helps you understand your genetic information. Practically, your whole genome has been mapped to all of the different questions and measurements that are taken.
Yeah.
And from there, it understands not only your genes,
Yes.
but it also understands what the environment has done to your genes. So what people might understand is that when you're 6 and 64, you're not the same person.
100%.
Obviously, but you have
Totally.
exactly the same genes. So if
Yes.
we just treat the genes on what they are, we'll be missing the point of your context in your life and what the environment's done to your body as well.
Yeah.
In fact, 95% of your health is determined by what your environment does to your genes, not determined by your genes. So,
Yeah.
and that's a really important thing for people.
Epi-genetics.
It
Yeah.
is. This
Dr.
is
Bruce. Yes.
epigenetics. That's right, with the guru.
Yay, Dr. Bruce. Dr. Bruce
Totally.
Lipton. For
Yes,
everybody
you can
listening in.
look him
Yeah.
up. The
One of
biology
my
of belief is one of
favorite books of
fantastic books.
all
Yeah,
time.
fantastic. So with all of that info, what we do is we understand. Okay, these are your genes, and for you specifically, a headache is going to be caused by this. So let's do that. But for another person, their headache's going to be caused by something else, like social stress. Whereas some person, it might be not digesting their proteins, and different genes have a predisposition for different conditions. And this program, it's got about 10,000 different correlations that are engaged in the program, with 500 different algorithms that make you uniquely you in the program. I've probably seen about 250 people do the program now, and I haven't seen the same list of foods, the same priority of nutrients for any one person. And that's because, or for any two people, I should say, and that's because you are unique. All of the different factors and your background, plus what the environment's done to you and where you're holding fat tissue, muscle tissue, the signs and symptoms of your skin, all of those things play into where you are right now, so you can actually do something about it. And the user-friendly part of it is it gives you an instruction: eat spinach, rather than this is your gene. Because what we don't know is what to do with that gene.
Yeah, like you tell me my gene is A, B, C or XYZ, it doesn't, like, it means nothing to me. But when I'm at the cafeteria and I need to choose between spinach
and kale,
or
it'll give you that difference.
fried rice or wholemeal bread, what do I choose?
Precisely, exactly. So it becomes very specific, and it's not just on food. It actually gets into the way your mind works. So why different people might be anxious, and how that might be created versus depressed, and how that can change for different people. And then even into social settings, and what kind of social setting their brain's going to be most naturally at home in, even work. And even then down to things like climate. So all of these sciences currently exist in Western science. There's papers on all of this stuff, but it's the practitioner's ability to hold all these papers in their mind at one time, and then think, I've got an individual here with a particular genetic lineage, with parents from Yugoslavia and Croatia. How does that differ? Keeping all of that information in your head, super hard. And even the guys who've designed this program, who know the majority of the content, they still need this algorithm to get the most accurate result for their clients. So this whole thing is about giving control back to you, letting you know where you are, letting you know why you respond the way you do. And in that way, you become more accepting of why your body acts the way it does. And eventually, let's fast forward 40 years and a generation of people doing the right thing, communicating with their body as to how that feels. And all of a sudden, you start going, oh no, this is right for me. And I actually don't need to rely on the technology as much, because now I have a communication with my body that works. And that's how we used to operate. We used to say, I don't walk into that lion's den because bad stuff happens.
Because my heart rate increases and my palms are sweaty and I'm feeling crazy and I want to run away.
Exactly. And I lose limbs if I walk into lion's dens. So, and now we're starting to know that sometimes, foods that we think are healthy for us can be that lion's den, but we don't know. And so it's about re-educating our bodies as to what you need for you. And this is the first program to formalize both the genes and the environment in one foul swoop, and then actually give you something to use it with. So it's exciting times. Yeah.
It is exciting times. It's super exciting times. I'm thinking of that movie where the person goes into this pod and get something, and they're like, and it's like, wow, this is almost as crazy as that. This is science fiction in the present day. We're living in a really incredible time for being able to optimize our health and optimize our energy and vitality, and to have a system and a simple way to be able to actually follow through on the right decisions, to give ourselves the right nutrients, to be at our best. That's incredible.
Exactly. And then we've got some really cool things coming up in the next 6 weeks. The first edition of the app is going to be released. So the program is called ph360, and it's available online now, and you can actually you can go and access it yourself at home, or there's people trained specifically in how to deliver it. But the app will actually be telling us in real time, like now's a good time to get up and move. Like for your body specifically, this is the best time. For me,
go for a run, Cam. Go for a run.
100%.
Dr. Cam, it's time to go for a run.
And then we've got things like between 6 and 7 is the time that I need to rest my brain. And when I do that, I feel far better the next day than when I miss it. And so I've structured my work around that time. And since I've done that, my brain just isn't as stressed anymore. And that's specific to me for my, and I guess we'll be talking about that and like a whole lot of more really cool stuff, like toilets that measure your microflora in the toilet, and how different, and to really get a good snapshot of what's going on for your health right now. And even, apps of the future, which are only about 6 to 9 months away, where it's going to be when you're stressed and tell you to de-stress at that time, because you've been in a state of stress for the last 3 hours, and that's not good for you specifically. We're getting to a point where we won't have to think as much about what we need to do, and that can really help start that conversation about how do I feel now that I'm doing these right things, which then gets us on the right path.
Yeah, because there's so much confusion, isn't there? After 40 years of diet books and dieting and industrialized food and packet food and all sorts of, but we've just lost our way, and we don't know we don't know what to eat. We follow, maybe we do a Pete Evans diet, paleo diet, or maybe we do Sarah Wilson, I quit sugar for a few weeks, and the person next to us got a really great result on that. But we find that we struggle, or we can't follow through with it, or it's really difficult. And so that confusion, I think, is a really huge issue, especially in what I see with my clients, that they're like, I just don't know what to eat. And being able to listen to their own inner signals is really challenging, because there is so much noise around in the world saying this is good, this is bad, this food's bad, this food's good, and they're these blanket statements that don't really that aren't useful for an individual trying to navigate their own world.
Absolutely. And this is probably one of the things I see all the time is the distribution of what we have access to, food-wise, movement-wise, mindset-wise. The distribution of all the stuff out there that we could possibly have is not at all the distribution of what we need. And we're constantly battling, 2/3 of the supermarket that's no good for us. And then even to that point where for paleo, it's actually really brilliant for some people with a couple of additions.
Of course.
But then for another person, it can cause significant health problems. So those types of differences and all of those different little diet trends have some truth for the right specifics.
Of course.
And as soon as we say that there's one answer for everybody, automatically you're incorrect. And that's 100%. Probably the biggest thing to come out of this experience that I've had is that everyone truly is different and needs different things. And the way your life is influenced by all the things that are unique to you make that even more so without the genetic, individuality.
Amazing.
So, it's really cool. So we're running some free seminars.
Yes. How can we find out more? Is that like for a regular person? Can they come along to these seminars?
Absolutely. These seminars are designed for anyone who's wanting to really understand where the future of health is going. And obviously, there's a lot of health professionals interested in it as well, because them being on top of what they do is really, really important.
It's kind of important to be at the cutting edge of what you do.
So, and we'll just be going through, it's 3 hours. We're in Sydney on August 6th, and I guess we'll pop up a bunch of these dates
below,
Sure. We'll just be going through. It's like a 3-hour chat just on where the future's going, and sort of how you can sort of take a bit more control of your own health, or even how you can learn more about this whole thing as well, and train up to be a practitioner. Someone, and you, like, from life coaches right through to medical doctors can use this program. It's so user friendly. And in my team right now, I've got a life coach and I've got a dietitian, and we're looking at grabbing a GP at some point to do it as well. But and really it allows you to be so much more specific, and takes a lot of the guesswork out of everything you're doing, whether you're practicing with clients or doing your own thing.
Awesome. And so tell me how quickly, obviously there's a lot of information that kind of goes in the middle bit, but let's say that I've just got ph360, I've just logged in or signed up or whatever it is, and like, how does it work from there? Do I have to give them some hair? How do they know what my genes are? Like, do I send in a blood sample, or give you a cup of wee, or what happens?
That's a very good question. Please keep the cup of wee to yourself.
Thank you. I will keep it to myself.
Yeah. I will take a lock of hair though, which is a little bit weirder. The way, this is probably one of the most revolutionary parts of it, and that is they've actually been able to reverse engineer our genetics off a combination of the shape of our body, and that's measured by a number of tape measure things. So the size of our skull, the length of our jaw, the thickness of our neck, the thickness of our arms and wrists, and length of fingers, and heights and weights.
Biomarkers,
yeah. And in a big picture altogether, they actually paint a very accurate story of not only what a baseline genetic situation is, but also what the environment's done to create hormonal responses for you to hold fat in different places with your skeletal structure. And then, so that's the first layer of about 15. So then there's skin, height, like hair, eye color, tone, like quality, symptomatic stuff. So disease history in the past, your family history. And so all of that information is collected, and normally it takes me about 25 minutes to get through an assessment, but if you're doing it at home, it can take about an hour to get through all the questions.
Yeah, because you don't need to be like, please help, what does this mean?
Yeah, totally.
What is this question? I don't understand.
Exactly. So we, and then so from that, it automatically calculates everything on the spot. So once you've finished it, you've actually got your assessment. The future's coming where you'll be able to drop a full DNA sample into the program as well. But right now, the accuracy that you get, and going even through the psychological profiles of people, and them reading out what it's coming back to them on it's time-stoppingly accurate. And there's no psychological questions at all. It's all just based on very objective things that you can see and touch and feel in your body, and nothing like, there's not personality questions or anything like that. So it's been fascinating. And a lot of it's, I know that we talk about those somatotypes like ectomorphs, endomorphs, mesomorphs, and
that's kind of thrown around in personal trainer language.
Exactly, yeah. So, and that was thrown around in Ayurvedic language and Chinese medicine language.
Yes, the Pitta, the Vata, I don't know all the other ones.
Kapha, you got it. So, and that's what they've really been able to validate. And the Chinese are heading up a lot of this research where they're looking at body types and understanding, if they've got this disease, which body type's going to have these types of outcomes, and really getting down to those elemental types and validating what they saw many thousands of years ago. And that's what I love about this science. It's very pure. It's non-judgmental, and it's just, if it works and it's a consistent relationship, then why wouldn't we look at it, rather than thinking there's no evidence, or let's test that evidence, let's create some hypotheses.
Awesome. And so let's say I've done the questionnaire and I've got the thing, and I know I'm a blah blah type. So then what?
You're a Kylie Ryan type.
I'm a Kylie Ryan type.
Yeah, there's no one else like you.
There's no one else quite like me. I'm super unique and a special snowflake, just like everybody out there.
That's right.
So I know that I'm a Kylie Ryan type, and so then what happens? So then it will tell me, this is good times to sleep, these are good things to eat, this is things that you maybe shouldn't, these are things that maybe don't work so well with you.
Yep.
It gives
100%.
you all that.
So it gives you, there's probably about, it'd be close to 1,000 foods in the program. And so all of the main ones that you'll eat, like I don't really have any foods that I come across now that I can't find.
Awesome.
So it gives you a rank list of every single one of those as far as vegetables are concerned, like which are my top 10 veggies and why. And it gives you a heap of detail as to why each vegetable is there or why it's not recommended.
Yeah.
There's exercise like timing recommendations. There are little suggestions for how you can start interpreting your thoughts and how your brain works as well, like a horoscope on steroids, really. And then same stuff for what's going to happen if you're in a particular climate, like how your body might respond, the best time of year to take a holiday. And then as the app comes along as well, it's going to give you real-time updates like you need to eat right now.
Eat now, Dr. Cam. Eat now. Yeah. Drink some water, Kylie. Drink some water.
Exactly. And do some meditation as well.
Do some meditation.
Calm down before your meal.
Calm the hell down.
So, it's all of that. It's once you're in the platform, there's a heap of video tutorials as well about how you can interpret the program and go through it and understand it. So having all that there, and that's all on the ph360 website. And look, the whole thing is just about creating a different conversation with health, about something like you being in control of your health, so that you can go to your health practitioner and say, this is my book on health, can you please help me use it, rather than let me ask about all your books that don't necessarily relate to me. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's ground it now into write down, because you're psyched about it. I'm psyched just thinking about it. Tell me one amazing, tangible benefit that being a part of this and learning about this for yourself has had for you personally in your life. What changes have you noticed in your life as a result of doing this?
Okay, I've got a very structured brain, and not everyone's got the same structure of their brain. So this isn't going to appeal to everybody as a benefit, but I'm going to...
Tell us what it is. This is the Dr. Cam benefit.
It's helped me categorize more of my health. Yeah. So I know that, like, systematically, if I rest between 6 and 7, I know that I'll sleep better and feel better the next day. And I know that when I miss that, there's a reason why I don't feel so good. Yeah. So I know how to get back to home base. Awesome. I know that when I eat foods that aren't necessarily good for me, I know that a symptom is going to come. Yes. And I get to make a really cool decision as to whether I want the symptom or whether I want to choose something else. Yes. It helps me realize that, I'm only meant to really do 3 kind of really intense exercise sessions per week, and then 2 yoga type mental space. Exactly. And when I start exercising more, I actually feel my body starting to niggle. And rather than me thinking there's something wrong, I can go, oh no, I just need to do a yoga session today. And I feel way better. So it just, what it does, it gives me an ability to come and check in and understand myself more. And I guess I'm, living a pretty busy life, and I could be more connected with my body as well.
100%, we all could.
It gives me the tags and the strategies to get to that place a lot faster. And I guess our education at all, completely ignores all of this. But back in the day, when we were doing this stuff more naturally, the education was about listening to your body, and cultures were set up around these types of things.
Yes.
So it wasn't so hard. Like, you just do it because that was part of the lifetime there. So, it really helps just cut through, cut your path back to your best body, and just create awareness that it's a bit mind-boggling how accurate it is, and how effective it is.
I'm psyched. I've got a meeting right after this, but I want to go and do the questionnaire right now, because I'm an action taker. But anyway,
that's it.
But anyway, so tell me, what are some of the results? So if a lot of my ladies have some struggles with their body shape and their weight, so tell me, of your clients and the people that you've worked with, how, maybe some of your clients as well have had issues with their weight. How quickly do they start to see results in, getting that body shape that they want when they've got this type of accurate information about what to put in their bodies and when to exercise and that kind of thing? What kind of results can you expect to see?
Cool. Okay. I'd like to answer that question in a slightly different way, if that's okay.
Do the politician's answer.
No, not at all. Not at all. I feel like what it does is it takes the focus off this body shape.
Yes.
And it actually helps you go, this is me.
Yes.
And particularly for one body type, and normally it's the body that has, they're incredibly nurturing. They're like the mama bear of their friends and family. And typically that kind of body as well has an amazing ability to hold muscle, bone, and fat tissue. And It's that type of body where you look at a donut and feel like you're putting weight on, and you're going, why is my body reacting so differently to my friends? And
Yeah.
it seems so unrealistic for me to think that I'm going to look like that chick in the magazine.
Yeah.
And that's because the whole system is actually set up to be a nurturer of the people around them. And in order to be a nurturer, what that body has to do is it has to think, okay, if there's a famine coming and I need to be giving but not getting, which is my role, then I need to conserve energy now. I'm going to exercise 10% less. I'm going to be a little bit slower and sit a little bit more. I'm going to extract more nutrients out of my food,
donuts.
and I'm going to slow my thyroid function down and my sugar control down so that I can conserve as much energy now. If there's that little bit of stress now, imagine if it gets worse. So when there's stress in the body, that kind of body will just consolidate mass, because this is where it's beautiful, to protect their community later. Like, they're setting up for this future idea of, I am the mother bear, so I need to make sure I've got an energy reserve for that.
So I can give,
So the kind of results that I see, I guess, is when people...
especially with those mama bears, because I know there's a few that will be watching going, yes, that's me. What happened? Like, how do I,
The first thing is they've got to, like, the place where I see the best results with this is when they embrace the power that is their growth, like their ability to grow, their ability to store energy. And as soon as they start loving that component of themselves, and getting their foods right, like, there's no doubt about that, and getting their exercise right. But when they get their mind on this track of, this is me, and this is my power,
this is
not
my power.
a weakness.
This is my power.
Then it doesn't matter so much about their weight, but what happens then, that stress comes off their system, and their body doesn't think there's a famine coming, and so it can start using a bit more energy. And particularly over winter, and this is the beauty of this program, it actually takes climate into account. In winter, once it gets below 20 degrees, you go into a hibernating state, and this group does it a lot more than any other group. So for that reason,
they're storing for winter.
During winter, like, you're beating yourself trying to get this weight off, but your body's going, you know what, this is cold right now.
It's cold. I need it. I need some padding.
It's my time. It's my time to store. So, but come summer, it becomes a completely different situation. So even expectations around your results. So during winter, it's not the time. It is about exercising and doing the thing that's really good for you. And then come summer, it's like, that's when you can expect some change in your weight, particularly if you're in a warmer climate. And having that level of expectation, I would say that when we know a bit about these guys and groups around their types of genes, they've got a rhythm in their brain that's very alpha wave, which is that meditative deep breathing state. That's their natural state. And that's the way I like to think about their weight loss as well. It's a cruising off of weight rather than this dramatic drop. And they might experience a big fluid shift at the start if they get their foods right. But the best success I see with individuals with that kind of body, and even a little bit taller, which is a slightly different body again, is if they consistently stick and embrace who they are, they get this beautiful, consistent weight change that's not stressful.
And
it becomes less of the focus, but every time I remeasure these guys, they've just lost more.
And it's no big deal.
Exactly, because they're doing the behaviors that matter, and this whole thing is about, what is the behavior that you need to do? What is that thing you need to do, rather than what do you need to worry about weight-wise? It's what's the thing that you need to do.
Awesome. I love that, because I'm often teaching people about the difference between process goals and outcome goals. And so the outcome goal is like, I want to lose 20 kilos. And I'm constantly saying, okay, well, yes, all right, there's that. And let's think about what do you need to do today? What's the process that's going to help your body feel good along the way? And so what's right for you right now to help you take that process towards self-acceptance, self-love, listening to your own inner nutritionist, to your own inner, your own inner feedback that's coming back to you, telling you, oh yeah, I do like spinach, and it makes me feel good, it makes me feel light, or oh no, I don't like the way that this feels in my body, and helping them to tune in to those things as a process of becoming present with their bodies. So I love that this is a really systematic, proven, sciencey tool that people can use to help along that journey. And I loved the way you just framed that as, embracing who you are and embracing the things that you think are a weakness as a strength and as a power. And it's interesting that fat for, saving fat for famine. I remember when I first got pregnant with which one? With Ruby and which one? I was just trying to think about what time it was in my life.
Too many children.
So many children. No, just two. I was away on a getaway with some friends, and I'm like, I'm going up. Like a friend of mine and I, we actually have similar kind of mindsets about this. And I was like, I'm eating. I'm getting my insurance of like this. I'm padding up for winter, and that was my mindset. Like, it's okay. This is cool. And I used to think about it like breastfeeding insurance. So so my hips were my breastfeeding insurance. And so then if I missed a meal or something and I still had to feed my child, I had some insurance to like get that happening.
Perfect.
And I think that's, that could be a useful way of thinking about it, that, with these this particular body type that really stores fat, it's like they're storing it as insurance against this potential famine. And the longer they're saying stressed by trying to project some goal about some, bikini model that is a completely different body type and saying, oh, I'm never going to be that, I'm not worthy, then they're putting more stress on their body. So they think there's this famine coming up and then it stores more and blah, 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 cycle. So, I love this work that you're doing. I can't wait. I'm going to be at the Sydney one. I can't wait to learn more about it. I'm going to go sign up for this thing right now because I'm psyched. So I'll put the details below of the event. It's free, right?
Yeah, it is. The 3-hour one is totally free, and it's just designed to help people understand where the science is going. Exactly. It's just about increasing awareness. There's opportunities to coach, and we run conferences on that too. We're running 8 next year and 3 this year as well. The priority though is just helping people understand, and then if they want to take it further, they do. That's cool.
Awesome. Well, I think it would be so valuable, like regardless, just to understand. And I've seen you talk before and you give a hell of a speech and with lots of important sciencey data and evidence-based facts thrown in with lots of cool stories and things to really easily understand that. And so I really love that about your presenting style. And I'm psyched to talk to you about it. I'm psyched to come along. I think everybody should come and do this if you want to learn how to optimize your own health and learn to love yourself a bit more, understand who you are, love yourself a bit more along the way, because you can just be like, oh, well, I'm this type. I am me, and that's okay.
Exactly. And probably before you even do the profile, you can just start understanding. You know everything about you right now. Exactly. Yeah. And you'll know the type of person that you are, and it's just looking for that and being comfortable with that as a start, and that will get you so much further than trying to fight against your body the whole time, for 100%.
Sure. I love that, because it's so often we're looking for external validation of, I'm okay to be doing this. Am I okay to be making this choice? And sometimes there's that indecision about the intuition that we already have about, what might be right for us, but then we don't necessarily follow through because we're doubting ourselves or we don't have that validation. And so to have this really clear, evidence-based, this is science, validating the decisions that we probably already knew to begin with, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Awesome. Any
exciting
parting words that you'd like to say before we wrap up? Parting words of wisdom?
Yeah, I guess look into it, and without the expectation that you'll actually do anything with the information, but
just check it out.
We've now got a solution that is right for so many people, for everyone. But you want to be very considered about getting involved. It's we're not looking at forcing this on people. It's accessible to you if you want it. Yeah. So I would at least give it the time to investigate, because there's so many people out there who are searching for this answer. It just takes a little bit of time to actually look and understand it and feel right about it. But yeah, it's for me, I'm slowly converting everybody in my life to understanding themselves a little bit better, and my family were first victims of that. So
Of course.
I would, if my son was old enough, I'd be doing it for him. So if I do it to him, I'd recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. If it's good enough for your own children, then it's good enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you, Dr. Cam, as always. So I'll pop the links below so that people can find all of the details and find out more. But if for some reason they can't see it, what's the web address that they could go to?
Yeah, the best one for this 3 hour is health events. So just as it sounds, health events, all one word,
Yep.
dot ph360
Yep.
dot me. So healthevents.ph360.me will get you to the info.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Dr. Cam. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you soon.